So it can be mesmerizing if you're watching the art of glass blowing.
Yeah, and tonight we find our Tar Heel traveler in the mountains of Yancey County. Scott Mason takes us to Hearth Glass and Gallery in Burnsville.
In Burnsville, a glass-blowing studio open to artists and the public, and where the fire burns almost every day.
22 to 2300 degrees.
Fire and glass.
And so he is alternating between heating the piece in the reheating chamber and sitting at the bench to tool it.
Shaping it.
Shaping, yes, exactly, that's what's happening.
And when he's done, he will have created, perhaps, something like this. Colorful and wonderful and handmade. And one more artistic addition to a long-lasting legacy.
I'm a fourth-generation glassworker. So my great-grandfather was Dr. Jesse T. Littleton. He and his wife, Bessie, are credited with the invention of Pyrex. His son, Harvey, my grandfather, grew up at Corning back in the early 1920s. And he became the first person to ask the question to say, how do we take glass blowing out of a factory setting and put it back into a studio setting? Doing it as an art form. Having it be available for the layman, for the general person, so you didn't have to become a factory worker to experiment with glass. You could just experiment in your own home if you wanted to.
Her grandfather, Harvey Littleton, eventually settled in the mountains of North Carolina.
There are some of the best glassblowers in the world right here.
And here in Burnsville, inside an old vintage gas station, is Hearth Glass and Gallery.
So we are an open access glass studio. So what that means is we invite people in to watch glass blowing.
And to take classes and blow glass themselves.
I named it Hearth because women are the caretakers of the hearth. It's our job to tend to the flame, to keep it going for future generations.
And past generations.
My great-grandfather invented Pyrex. My grandfather went on to become the father of the American glassblowing movement. My father now runs the company that my grandfather started in 1982. And then there's me. I like to think of glassblowing as a dance. Everything here is done on a rhythm or a cycle or a pattern. Spreading glassblowing to future generations, to educate and to tell them about the history of glass that we have here in Western North Carolina is really something that is truly special to me.
Wow, what they do is absolutely beautiful. Hearth Glass and Gallery is on West Main Street in Burnsville. The family that runs it also owns a company called Spruce Pine Batch that supplies high-quality glass to artists worldwide.